Georgian officials have denied claims made by Armenia's National Security Council Secretary September 6th that Russia and Georgia have agreed to reopen a railway between the two countries via the breakaway territory of Abkhazia. Despite the denial, Georgian Prime Minister Bidzina Ivanishvili remains open to the possibility of the project coming to fruition at some point in the future. The Caucasus region is currently in a state of transformation, particularly in the economic, transit, and energy fields. This railway project is an important indicator of the shifting dynamics in the Caucasus and Russia's strengthening position in the region, which can be expected to evolve further in the coming months and years. The rail line between Georgia and Russia has been cut off since 1993, when hostilities erupted between Georgia and Abkhazia following the former's independence from the Soviet Union. The past 2 decades have seen little in terms of economic links between Russia and Georgia, as Moscow has propped up Abkhazia and fellow breakaway territory South Ossetia at the expense of Tbilisi. Tensions only escalated in the 2008 war between Russia and Georgia, which disrupted what little economic activity was left between the two countries. But the emergence of Ivanishvili in 2011 has led to a steady but significant reopening of economic ties between the two countries, which includes the resumption of trade of key goods like wine and agricultural products, as well as discussions of increasing energy cooperation. Another notable development occurred recently when Armenia announced that it would join Russia's customs union, which would link the country even further with Moscow in the economic sphere. However, Armenia does not share a border with Russia, which means that there are no direct transit links or infrastructure between the two countries. Armenia is further isolated in the region by having closed borders between it and both Azerbaijan and Turkey, as a result of ongoing tensions over the disputed territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. This leaves Georgia as the only viable option for establishing further links between Armenia and Russia, making the Russia-Georgia Railway a particularly important project to resume from the perspective of Yerevan. However, there are still several obstacles to the resumption of the railway. First is that diplomatic relations are still broken between Georgia and Abkhazia, and an agreement or at least an understanding between the two would need to be brokered before rail traffic is resumed. Also, in parallel with its economic opening to Russia, Georgia has continued its cooperation with the EU and NATO and has not dropped its official policy of integration with both blocs. Indeed, on September 9th, Ivanishvili announced that Georgia would sign a free trade and association agreement with the EU by the spring of 2014, an important stepping stone in establishing closer ties with the EU. Furthermore, Ivanishvili has not yet completely consolidated political power in Georgia, with upcoming presidential elections in October serving as an important test for his Georgian Dream movement. An additional complication is Azerbaijan, which has been pursuing its own regional rail project from Baku to Turkey via Georgia. The Baku-Tbilisi Kars Railway project is currently under construction and is scheduled to be completed by the end of 2013, though it has faced certain construction delays. A resumption in rail traffic between Russia and Georgia would seriously threaten this project, and therefore it goes counter to Azerbaijan's regional interests. Given that Georgia is dependent on Azerbaijan for its energy needs and financial assistance, Baku does have some leverage in trying to entice Tbilisi away from the project. Still, what is clear is that the economic and political dynamics in the region have evolved significantly in the past year. Even Azerbaijan has increased its energy and business cooperation with Russia, as Moscow has maneuvered to improve its position in both Armenia and Georgia. And while there are still many hurdles and potential complications in place to the reopening of the Russia-Georgia Railway via Abkhazia, the momentum is certainly with Moscow at this point in time.